Richard, it's that time of year again. It's 2018, and it's time for the Podcast Awards.
Yay! It's our, or as we like to call it, the season of disappointment.
Well, it's our third year running, Richard, and if you get the opportunity, please go to podcastawards.com and vote for your favorite podcast, The Language of Bromance, for the Comedy Podcast Award and the People's Choice Award.
There's one thing we pride ourselves on. It's being the people's choice. And you know what? Sometimes the people's choice isn't the most popular choice, but it's the choice that we have to live with. And I'm not naming names, but we could be that choice.
And also, if you're on there and you're looking around, please throw a nomination for my other podcast, Strange Indeed, as part of the TV and film category. So please remember just to go out to podcastawards.com and vote for Language of Bromance for comedy and People's Choice, and Strange Indeed for TV and film.
Definitely. Do both of those. As hard as it is for me to say, I guess you could do the other. But do one. Definitely do ours. Definitely nominate us, because we are the podcast. We're not the podcast that you need. We're the podcast that you deserve.
So remember, podcastawards.com.
What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Sean.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. Sean, I'm going to talk to you today. About a life that we could have lived. A life that you and I together could have lived. Well, maybe not together, but a life we could have lived.
Is this the episode where you propose? You're like, Amanda, I'm leaving you for Sean. And she's like, thank God.
Yeah. I've packed you. I've had a goat bag packed for you for years.
I called it your gay out bag.
Every time it's your bro-anniversary or wherever the fuck you call it, I set it by the door, fingers crossed, and it never happens.
Wipe away a tear.
Is today the day? Is today the day, Richard?
Check to make sure the lube hasn't passed its expiration date.
Yeah. She's kind of mean.
Yeah. That's women for you.
But you know how we could escape women? By living on our own island, Sean.
We've talked about some of these islands before.
We've talked about living on an island for quite some time. But this is a guy. Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about a guy who had that dream. He had that dream for a very long time. Like, he was living that dream, Sean. The dream that you and I have of one day being on our own island all by ourselves.
Like Castaway? Like Tom Hanks? Who'd be Tom Hanks and who'd be Wilson?
I think it'd be funnier if you were Tom Hanks.
Probably.
I feel like you as Tom Hanks in Castaway would be way funnier. Please, Wilson, you're not a volleyball. You're a person. You could talk. Nope, choose not to.
Wilson, you're just like my dad.
Yeah, I was all fine with hanging out with you until you put this bloody handprint on my face, and now I'm just pissed.
Oh, Wilson, you're full of jokes.
I have eyes and a mouth. I don't know why you felt the need to draw those.
Sean, there's no reason to keep trying to blow me. Okay, keep going. There's nobody else on this island. And coconut milk.
Don't send for help.
People show up. You're like, no, we're fine. We're good.
You're putting out SOS on the beach, and I'm washing it out.
You're just putting go the F away.
Sean, I'm going to talk to you about. Okay, so like I said, this is a guy that had that dream. He had that dream for almost 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And then after 30 years, it was snatched from him.
So he had the dream, or he was living the dream?
He was living the dream for 30 years, and it was taken from him.
So this is kind of like the Tom Hanks story. Like on Castaway, like he's like, I gotta get off this island. And I'm like, why? You've lived for 20 years.
Yeah, no shit, right? Like, he was doing great out there.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was in such... Yeah, he was fucking fit.
Had all the food he wanted. He had like fresh seafood, could make fire.
Yeah, sweet-ass beard.
Yeah. I guess it would have been kind of lonely.
Volleyball companion.
Nobody to judge you. You're like, well, it's 8 o'clock. Gonna masturbate again.
That is a good point. Like, you got nothing for lubrication. Unless there's like an aloe vera plant, but I don't know how that would go. I've never masturbated with aloe vera.
Nah, I'm sure you can make it work. I mean, desperate times.
Any port in a storm, or in this case, any port in a shipwrecked island. So, Sean, I'm going to talk to you. This is in Japan, okay? For nearly 30 years, there was a man called Masafumi Nagasaki.
Ooh, Masafumi
Nagasaki. He lived a life many of us extremely logged on folks can only dream of. A life completely void of commuting, the internet, and screens. He had the entire island of Sotobanari to himself. Whole island.
Nice.
Just him.
I mean, there's people that pay shit tons of money for that.
Right? You could be P. Diddy, and this guy didn't even need to be P. Diddy. He just lived there. Just showed up. The island of Sotobanari. That sounds like a great name. It sounds like Isle of Mystery.
Sotobanari. It sounds exotic. Not really more mysterious. It's like exotic. Like you go there for a good time. You don't go there and be like, oh my God, there's a witch doctor that's going to curse me. You're like, I'm going to go there and have sex with an aloe vera plant.
Come to Sotobanari, where the aloe vera always flows like water.
But it's Japan. It's not Spain.
Yeah, but you'd say it if you're doing a commercial for it. You would say it in a French accent.
Ah, that's true. Yeah.
So he was foraging, raking debris from the shore, and watching baby turtles hatch from their eggs and scurry to the ocean.
That is like a dream life and a half.
Is that not like awesome? Like you just kind of hang out.
Oh my God. Could you imagine like you have your own like calendar you build and you're sitting there, you're like, oh my God, Susan's about to have her turtle babies.
Yeah. Or like, well, it's not really so much that because like all the turtles, like if I remember right, like the way the turtle thing works is they come up on the beach and lay eggs and then they leave. And then like a day comes where all of a sudden all these baby turtles hatch and they fucking like it's like this, no man's gamut. It's like the invasion of Normandy. Like they're all running for the water.
Yeah, because birds.
Because birds will come down. Fucking birds, man.
Yep. But see, you could be like the savior. Like you'd pick them up and they go, Mama. Oh, Mama. Babies. But you could take each one of those and save them and give them like a good head start in life. That'd be better than any like Facebook scroll ever.
That'd be great because you'd have like say you had a calendar. You'd be like, oh my God, tomorrow's fucking Turtle Day.
Oh, and you could keep a good eye on it. You see any of the lizards, you're like, no, Bertha, leave those eggs alone. Remember, we're vegan on this island.
But don't make us not be vegan.
Yeah, if you know what I mean, Bertha. Yeah. I will roast the shit out of your tail.
I will cook you the fuck out. So he said, finding a place to die is an important thing to do.
Oh, damn. He took it to a dark place.
He did a interview with Reuters in 2012.
Why is he hanging out with steroid users?
He said, not Reuters.
They're like, how awesome were those turtles? Were those turtles fucking awesome?
Stop looking at me like that.
I'll crush those turtles.
Where's your aloe vera plants? I can't see it anymore. Because the testicle thing.
Oh, yeah. They shrink up.
Yeah. Anyway, so basically he's saying like, this is just where I want to go. I'm going to this island and this is where I'm going to stay until it's time for me to no longer be there. So finding a place to die is an important thing to do, and I've decided here is the place for me. So in 1989, Sean, he abandoned conventional society and left for this island.
That's like, you're just getting into like cable TV, HBO.
No internet.
Like, it's not the world today. And you're like, there is just way too much fucking like stuff.
Yeah. Be like, oh my God, we're getting taken over by technology.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, TV on demand. Yeah, I really want that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I'm going
this
to an
cable
island.
Television. I thought 3 channels was too much.
Yeah, he's like, what's next? Sex robots? That's kind of a jump, dude. It's coming, and then we'll all be coming.
And coming. The other thing he abandoned, Sean, in 1989, he abandoned conventional society and
his wife,
his clothes.
Oh, I mean, if you're on your island by yourself, why not, right?
Right, exactly.
Suns out, buns out. That's what I always say. which they don't really like at a public pool. I don't understand why.
They don't mind it when I do it. At least that's what I've been told.
At least that's what they tell you when they take you into the county.
Yeah. It's not that you weren't wearing clothes. It's that
you did a lot of jogging around the pool.
There was a dance. I believe it was the Cupid Shuffle. So he abandoned conventional society and clothes in 1989. His only contact with civilization came during periodic trips to buy food and drinking water at a settlement an hour away by boat.
Oh, so he wasn't like fully isolated. He wasn't cast away.
No, he wasn't cast away. He'd live on this island, but then
how'd he buy the stuff? Did he just like sell all his stuff and had like a bank account of money and just bare minimaled it?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he, or maybe he like brought stuff from the island there and he just did it in trade.
He ran into the store naked and they're like, take whatever you want and leave.
He's like, I've got coconuts to trade, or you could have some of these nuts. And they're like, please, God, no. Here, just have I don't care.
Take the water. Why are you taking lotion? No reason.
Toaster strudel. Just take whatever you want. I don't even know why you want the toaster strudel. It's fucking frozen. You don't have a toaster.
I have a rock. I named Toaster.
So he would get on this boat and travel for an hour by boat, which to me seems like a scary proposition because I'm sure it wasn't like a cruise liner with fucking, or like a yacht with fucking navigation and shit like that. It was probably like a fucking paddle boat.
Yeah, well, I mean, don't they do that on the island of Hawaii now still? Like, aren't there people who just have like wind sails that go between islands, or they kind of stopped doing that? I know like back in the day they used to.
I have no idea. But like to me, that sounds like a scary proposition because like sometimes I get lost fucking driving around. And if you're on a boat,
everything's blue.
Yeah. You're just fucking paddling and you're like, I hope this is the right direction.
Yeah, you're like, Wilson, are we going the right way? Fucker's always quiet on the boat.
I wouldn't mind a little backseat boating if it's all the same to you, Wilson. So he bought food and drinking water at the settlement. That is until April. That's April of this year. He was authorities forced him to go to a hospital with no hope of returning to his island.
Oh, that sucks. It's probably because he had back taxes.
That's how they always get you. That's how they got Capone.
That's what I don't understand. Like, I feel like in today's age, if you're like, I'm just going to go live like in the mountains, like I'm going to sell all my stuff, get it all in cash, and I'm just going to go live in the mountains. At some point, somebody's going to go find you and be like, oh, you're crazy because you want to live in the mountains. It's like, no, I want to get away from society.
Yeah, see, I feel like if I went to go live in the mountains, then that's when a bill collector would show up.
Yeah.
Like you would leave society and then society would come and find you. And you're like, motherfucker, like I got rid of everything and I just want to live in this fucking cabin in the middle of the fucking woods and just live my life.
Well, you know what it'd be? It'd be like Netflix. They'd show up and be like, you didn't cancel your auto renewal. It's like, God damn it.
How much do I owe? $45,000.
I mean, after the first like month, wouldn't you just auto cancel it? Nope. You didn't read the fine print.
So are we going to do this in installments? And then you're like, well, I have coconuts.
And I have these nuts.
And they're like, sir, that doesn't work on us. In fact, we're slightly intrigued.
Would you mind selling your story so we can make a documentary about it?
Apparently, it was a filmmaker that is the one that said that these authorities forced him to leave to go to a hospital. The filmmaker's name is Alvaro Cerezo. Cerezo, who spent 5 days filming Nagasaki in 2017, told a news site that he was kicked out of the island. Someone saw him on the island, and it seems like he was weak.
Oh, Nagasaki was weak?
He said someone saw him on the island, and it seems like he was weak. So they called police, and they took him back to civilization, and that's it.
You know what? I bet you like a month later, there's a resort on that island.
Yeah, no shit, right?
That's what it is. It's conspiracy. He's like, no, this is my island. Squatters' rights.
And they're like, you ain't squatting shit.
Yeah.
You're going to be squatting in a fucking toilet.
We're going to be putting
hospital.
a 12-story resort, all you can eat and drink and party. It's going to be the spring break capital of Japan.
But like, how fucked up is that? Like, the dude's just on an island, and he's like, "This is where I want to die. I just want to live. I just want to live on this fucking island, and eventually, I won't live anymore, and that's fine." And then the police get called. Which, what the fuck, police?
Well, I imagine this is probably like a Japan territory, and so they send him in because of that. But I mean, that's when you think of like, you know, civilization's like very much overreached its power, maybe, because like he's like living there on his own. Yeah, he's probably gonna die there because he's been there for 30 years. But like, hey, you can't take care of yourself. We're gonna send you to the hospital. Oh, and you need to start paying us money for that too, because hospitals aren't cheap. He's like, you know what's cheap? Me dying on that island next to that turtle mound that I love.
That was fucking cheap. Like, how fucked up is that? Like, the dude's like, just let me die on this goddamn island by myself. And they're like, no.
That's not how, no, you really don't want that. You've got sun sickness. He's like, no, I don't.
I want to die with the turtles. I want to be turtle food.
Yeah. Lived like I loved. Wait, did you say you loved a turtle? There may be a couple in the ocean that look like me. I'm a miracle of science.
They're naked too.
Do you think he like led him on a 10-week chase? Like they're trying to catch him on the island as like Home Alone.
like a Scooby-Doo montage where they just they're running around all over the place and in between trees. And...
Well, I just imagine he's like Macaulay Culkin where in Home Alone he's got stuff hanging around and like the police get hit with cans of coconuts. He's like, you guys give up or are you thirsty for more?
And they're like, no, we're good. It's coconut milk.
Oh, that's not all it is.
Oh, damn it.
I had sex with these coconut trees, too. I don't think that's how it works. I mean, that's gross and probably hurt, but...
How do you have sex with a coconut tree? That sounds painful.
He's like, let me show you. And they're like, I got you, bitch. Like, damn it. Thought you guys were freaks, but you're just bastards.
You tricked me. I don't know. See, I thought this was a cool story, and then it turns out sad. That the guy... was living on an island, and he's like, this is me want to get away. Because we just said this 5 seconds ago. I was like, you can't escape. That's how I feel right now. I feel like I can't escape the fast paced living that we do. I feel like if I was like, you know what, fuck this, and I went and lived in a fucking cave in the woods, then somebody would show up and be like, you can't do this.
Hey, like, you know who owns this cave? The state. You're like, well, I pay taxes to the state. Yeah, but not enough.
Yeah. Not enough to live in a cave.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. How much does it cost? You think back in the early 1800s or whatever, it's like, if you're like, you know what, I just want to go out west. Just pack up all your belongings and head out west. Nobody would be the wiser.
And then you just show up on a piece of fucking ground. And then you're like, yeah, I'll just build a house here. And then you just chop down some trees and build a fucking house.
Yep. Or you show up at a fort and they'd be like, oh, who are you? And you're like, I'm a gynecologist. Like, seems legit to me.
Yeah. He's got a piece of paper. It's spelled wrong, but I mean...
There are no women. There are no women here. It's like, well, I'll check either or. Doesn't matter.
Everybody's got holes. Am I right? Huh? Where are you going?
Oh, I'll go
Bend
to
over.
I'll go to the other fort. Sorry, I'll see myself out.
Nagasaki told the filmmaker that decades ago he had often told his cold workers of his desire to escape. but he finally made the decision to go off the grid when he was flying from Fukuoka to Osaka, and was disgusted by the pollution he saw spewing from the aircraft.
Oh, and this is in the I don't know. Is Japan cleaner now than it was then?
Oh, yeah. Worlds. I've heard that Tokyo is, in fact, one of the cleanest cities on Earth.
I gotcha. I know China's supposed to be pretty bad still, right?
Like air pollution wise, a little bit, but they're getting better too. They've instituted like a fuck ton of green initiatives, and they're going to like wind. They're doing like wind and solar power. They're going bonkers. They got a whole bunch of renewable goals. So, but yeah, I've heard Tokyo is one of the cleanest cities on the planet. The reason is because I heard that they instituted like littering fines.
Oh, I got you. So it's not like in the States where we have the fines, but we don't
like
enforce
heavy,
them.
Yeah, they're heavy fines.
I got you.
So, but I mean, hey, clean streets.
Yeah. No, I mean, it seems worth it.
So he's on a plane. And he sees the smoke and, smog or whatever coming out of the exhaust of the aircraft. And he's like, no, this is too much. And then he jumped out of the plane, and where he landed, that's where he
nice.
He built his home.
Did he make the plane crash? He was a UPS plane or
he's
a FedEx
like, fuck
plane.
this, and kicks open the door.
Follow me to clean freedom.
Who's coming with me? And everybody's just sitting like, fuck this.
I hear the internet's coming.
He first moved to the island of Iramote, but was disappointed by the presence of cars and tourists.
So it was a habited island was the first one he went to.
Yeah, apparently, the first island apparently had cars and tourists, and so there were people in there, and he was like, no.
So was he just homeless then? Like it seems like, or did he have like a tent?
At this point, he's just a homeless guy, and he shows up at this place, and they're like, hey, you're on vacation. He's like, no, I'm trying to get away from you people.
Like, oh, he's a bum. Spray him with soda water.
Get out, get out, get out.
That's a good point. It's like, would you rather be like here or homeless in Hawaii? It's like, homeless in Hawaii wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah. I don't know though. Because I mean, isn't like Hawaii, well, yes, tropical and all that. Like I would think sometimes it would get hot, like hot.
I don't think many people have air conditioning there because it's kind of like a mild, and you got the sea breeze and all that.
Yeah.
I'm sure it gets hot, but it's not like.
So really the only thing you got to like worry about if you're homeless in Hawaii is rain?
I think so, yeah. And
so
if you
why
had a
aren't
tent,
we? Okay, Sean, so then using this information, why aren't we homeless in Hawaii?
because we have families.
I need a better reason than that.
Well, I mean, if we're homeless, our podcast would be in tin cans. Well, we could do it all day.
I know it would be great, and it would be so intimate.
Yeah,
because we could just have like a really short string.
But we'd have like a microphone box where people could throw change in it.
Perfect. You know what? We don't even need 2 cans. We just need 1 can.
Yeah, just pass it back and forth.
Yeah, or no, we just get up really close to each other talking to the same can. Because it works like, you go to a concert and there's people singing and they're, they get all close up to each other and singing to the same microphone. Yeah. Why couldn't we do that?
I think we can. All right, after this episode, I'll start selling some stuff and we'll just head out that way.
Perfect.
Babe.
Now I'm thinking about
like,
we don't even
God.
Here's your bag. I was just gonna ask if the trash sheet had taken out. Oh, well, don't worry about this bag then. I'll just leave it by the door. What's in? Why are my clothes in here? Toiletries?
We're not going on a brocation for like 6 months.
By this token, why do we even need a can? We don't even need the can. I just sit and talk to each other.
It gives the effect.
Wait a minute.
It gives like the echoing like microphone effect.
Okay. I was gonna say, because if we didn't have the can, would we just be like 2 two homeless guys babbling crazy at each other.
If you have a camp, people are like, oh my God, look at those two crazy homeless bearded guys. Like, no, we're doing a podcast.
Oh, because of the can.
Oh, do you guys have a Patreon? No, we don't have computers, but we have a basket, Eon. A Bastreon?
We get a basket and we just put a little sign in front that says Patreon on it.
Hey, look, 75 cents. We made more money this month than we have ever. Things are looking
and then
up.
Somebody throws a quarter and be like, are you committing to a quarter every month? Or
is this a one-time donation?
Is this
we need to know so we can tell you what street we'll be on.
Yeah, we have to let you know where you fall in our reward tier.
Can you join our mailing list?
Yeah.
Sir, that's toilet paper and it's used. Yeah, I know. It's just it's a temporary thing.
What do you mean mailing list? Well, we have baskets all over the island. And we'll put mail in there for you.
If you look, we have some bumper stickers in some of them.
And they're not even our bumper stickers. They're just random bumper stickers.
Wait,
like
this says like Reagan and somebody, where the hell did you get this?
Yeah.
Off some
Why do
old
you have a Dukakis bumper sticker? And you scratched out Dukakis and wrote Richard and Sean.
And you still have caucus in there. Is that supposed to be a joke? Yeah,
it is. It totally is. A fisherman. So he's on the island with the people on it, of the cars and the tourists. And a fisherman suggests he tried the deserted island of Sotobanari.
Oh.
And then the fisherman took him there.
Nice.
So he's like wandering down the street. He's like, this isn't working out the way I wanted. I wanted to live, by myself. I wanted to take off these goddamn pants. None of that's happening.
And this fisherman's like, hey, I got a spot you can take off your pants. And like as he's in the boat, he's like halfway in the water. He's like, oh God, like what happens if this fisherman's like, hey, either have sex with me or get off the boat?
Oh.
Because you got to have sex with him or otherwise you get thrown in the water.
Yeah, it's either that or you swim in with the sharks.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
No, but then he sees the island. He's like, whew, thank God.
There actually is an island.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
No, it's not that island. And then they goes around it like 4 times.
So do you want to get on the island, or you want to
get off on the boat? I'd like to get on the island, please, sir.
That's what they all say.
So this dude has been So the fisherman suggests he goes to this island, and the fisherman takes him there. Nagasaki fell in love with the island, and the fisherman left him there with a tent. So the fisherman even gives him a tent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you could get a fair amount of equipment to survive. Like, you could get a decent tent that'd last you long enough. You put it, like, basically your tent's like your main home, but you build some, like, natural shelter around it to keep your tent lasting longer.
Would the tent last 30 years though?
Not only if you built like something around it. So like your
so you want to build
like all the benefit, but you build like some kind of like put it in a cave or like natural, like you put branches and stuff around it, so it's not taking the brunt of the environment or the weather. I've thought about this stuff, Richard.
Apparently so. Like you got it. I was like, all he has is a tent. And you're like, yes, but if you, as you can see, if he points his lean-to towards the direction east-west of the sun, then that way when the rain falls from a southwesterly direction, then he can collect the rainwater. So that way he has something to drink. And
the sun's going to hit it just right, and then you're going to be warm and cool at the same time.
All right, now I'm worried. Now I feel like I'm going to be like, I'm gonna get the Skype call from Sean with a tin can up his head.
Hey, Richard, check your front door. There's a bag. Babe, you put more toiletries in this than you did.
There's 2 bags now. I'm not taking the hint. You know what? Everybody's leaving bags at the door for me to go. First it's the wife, then it's the kids. They're like, we want to play with new dad.
Hey, who's new dad? His name's Chuck.
And then he leaves me a bag.
He at least left a note.
Yeah. said, get the fuck out of my house.
Don't worry, I'll take care of the family. Oh, well, at least he's... Wait a second.
I'm going on an adventure. Nagasaki struggled at first because, Sean, unlike you, he had no wilderness experience. So I'll tell you what, the balls on this dude.
That is pretty ballsy.
Because not only so this dude was like, fuck society, fuck everybody, fuck people with these cars, and fuck this cable television and shit floating around in outer space trying to give me HBO. Fuck all this. And I'm going to live in the woods. And they're like, what do you know about living in the woods? And he's like, well,
number
trees.
one, you don't wear pants.
Rule number one.
I actually don't think that's a rule. I actually think you want to wear pants for safety.
That's where the bugs will live in there. You get sand in your bum.
It's a natural island, so I'm going all natural.
Yeah.
How long do you think you'd survive if you were just like dropped off on an island with a tent?
Oh my God. You know what? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. Because I don't know about you, Sean, but I'm quite pampered. I mean, I've camped before. I've camped quite often.
I would need a bug out bag, like, because I couldn't make fire by myself. So I need matches or something like that. Some decent utensils to get you along.
Yeah. I'd be afraid, like, say you have matches, so you get a fire going, but then you'd have to, like, I'd be constantly afraid of losing the fire, because I feel like the fire would be something you'd have to keep going all the time.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to, like, utilize your goods. So, like, if you had matches, like, you'd keep your fire going with matches and keep the fire going, but you'd want to try and figure out how to make a fire without them.
No, I just mean like wouldn't you have to, not necessarily the matches, because the matches is a finite resource. So wouldn't you want to just keep the fire going and going and going?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a good idea too. But I mean, like most fires, like campfires, even if they burn out at night, there's still like embers and stuff there that you can kind of like rekindle and get going.
That's true.
So you wouldn't have to keep it like, blazing.
I would. I'd be like, no, we'll lose it.
Every night you're like, look, I have made fire. And it's like, Richard, you've used all of our firewood again.
You've done this for the last 2 weeks. Get over it. We understand. And really, you made fire 2 weeks ago. You've just kept it alive.
I'm going to go talk to Wilson. He never talks back to me.
Yeah, well, fuck you know. And for God's sake, put on a pair of pants.
I know we're all Suns Out Buns Out, but come on.
There is sand getting in places that I just don't want to see.
I didn't know an ass could get that red.
Oh my God, that's a good point. Earlier we were talking about the masturbating with the aloe vera. Like there's sand everywhere.
Yeah.
You're on a fucking island.
You're like,
oh my God.
You're like, oh, I'm going to get cleaned off so I can get a little busy with myself. You get in there and guess what? Salt water. So you have salt all over your wee-wee.
Oh.
Yeah. You just talked about getting rid of tugging one out. That'd be a way to do it. You have no ability to.
Yeah, you just be, like I tried it once and you know what? That was enough.
Like, ow.
I landed on this island 30 years ago. I tried to masturbate once 30 years ago. Guess what? Haven't done it since. You know why? Sand, salt, no lube.
I've been trying to get back to the mainland for 30 years. You land and everybody's like, oh my God, what's the first thing you're going to do? I'm going to shower and masturbate. I've got a 30-year build up.
I need just give me some supplies. What do you need for supplies? I don't know. Just like, can I just have some Lubriderm and a fucking
bottle of water?
Towel?
A moist towel.
Please.
I've got 30 years of sand and salt on this bad boy I need to clean off.
Ugh. Gross. So he had no wilderness experience, but quickly learned survival skills. So he learned all this shit on the fly. He learned how to live by himself on an island for 30 years.
Well, I mean, I think if you're on an island for 30 years, you kind of have to learn. Otherwise, you're
Otherwise, the story doesn't say for 30 years. The story would be a little bit different. It would be man lived on an island for 2 weeks and then died because he didn't know how to find food.
The story is fisherman finds bones of a man who fell on the island 30 plus years ago.
Not wearing pants.
In a stone, he wrote, "Why didn't I bring lube?"
Please. According to Cerezo, the filmmaker, according to his blog, Nagasaki eventually began to have empathy with the animals and to reject meat and fish.
Oh, he did go vegan.
Yes, he did.
I mean, if you had like a endless supply of coconuts and like fruits, and I wonder how you get your protein though on the island.
I don't know, but you also got to consider this, Sean. Like, he didn't have anybody to talk to, so I'm sure like all his animals were friends. He's like the Dr. Doolittle of fucking. He's the Dr. Doolittle of Sotobanari.
Did they say what kind of animals are on there? Like, I'm assuming turtles for sure, but like what else?
It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't say. I don't think.
Oh, but that'd be tough. Like, could you imagine like the fresh crab you could have, like fresh fish? Like, if you're fishing, you got like a nice flounder. You get some crab meat, grinding that crab meat up, stick it in that flounder.
Yeah. But you know what, Sean? After a few weeks, you're not eating flounder and crab. You're eating Steve and Tobias.
Why? If you keep fishing,
they're your friends, Sean.
Oh,
they became your friends.
Tobias.
Yeah,
that'd be tough.
There was a show I saw once where the guy was like, I go to a restaurant with my daughter, and the first thing she does is she walks up and she names all the lobsters in the tank, so I can't eat any of them.
It might be pretty heartless and soulless of me, but like, you name a cow, I'm still eating that T-bone.
All cows are now named Doris.
Doris tastes amazing.
No, you know what? All the cows, they're now named Laura. That's what they are.
Laura?
Laura?
He's putting steak sauce on you.
Why's the boy using A1 on you, Laura? I just want to make sure my Pookie Bear gets his protein.
Do you put A1 on your steaks? I've learned people that do that usually come from like situations where they always got like cheaper meat, and so they're just used to doing that on their steak.
I could see that. And then there's the people that put ketchup on their steak, which I read that the people that put ketchup on their steak are actually sociopaths that are prone to joining ISIS.
I could believe it. Savages. Nothing brings out the taste of a steak like ketchup.
Yeah. I'm gonna punch that dude in the face.
I don't like ketchup to begin with, so like on a grilled burger, ketchup's good. On a hot dog, ketchup's good. And there's a place here in town that makes their own beer ketchup.
See, okay, so I'm fine with ketchup on a burger. I hail kind of from Chicago, so no ketchup on a hot dog.
If I do it Chicago style, I won't put ketchup on it.
I very rarely use ketchup with fries. Usually I'll just eat the fries.
I usually use ranch, or I use anything but ketchup for my fries.
See, that is Midwest right there.
Well, no, I'll do like ranch,
me the ranch.
Like if I'm eating like seafood cocktail sauce, I'll dip my fries in that, which is basically ketchup.
Yes,
horseradish ketchup, but like honey mustard. Like pretty much anything but ketchup.
Yeah. For actually, you know what? I'll save that for a closing thought. But I never understood people that buy cocktail sauce because it's like the simplest thing in the world to make.
Yeah, it's ketchup and horseradish.
And a squeeze of lemon.
If you want lemon.
You put a squeeze of lemon in there.
Some of us are allergic to lemons, Richard.
Who's allergic to lemons? You know who's allergic to lemons? Same people that put ketchup on steak. Fucking savages.
So if you fill on this island, like, how long do you think it would take you to kind of like wean yourself off of technology? Because I feel like that'd be the one thing, like, I feel like I could get away with it because I've done it before fairly recently.
You weaned yourself off technology?
Yeah, I was in a spot where I didn't get like anything, so I still used it, I guess. It wasn't a full wean, but I wasn't constantly checking. Like, I check it like 10 minutes a day.
How long was your...
It was like a week. I was out of like good service.
Oh, well, okay. But I honestly feel that, like, when it comes to, say, like, constantly checking your phone or whatever, I would say after, like, a few days, like 4 or 5 days, like I think you're pretty well over it. At least I feel like I would be over it.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because it feels like it'd be.
Well, I think but you would have to be like forced to be off it. You know what I mean? Like if you're on an island and there is no chance of you getting a cell phone signal or electricity of any kind, I think I would think after 4 days, like you wouldn't be like, oh, I wonder what's going on in the world of Facebook, or I wonder what my Twitter feed is doing. Like you wouldn't give a shit after like 4 days.
Do you think it would bug you though? Like, do you think you'd be like, oh my gosh, like I really need to check my phone? Because when I can't get to it, it doesn't bother me. It's like, oh, okay,
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If you can't get to it, then you're not even concerned with it. But if it's sitting there and you know that it's there, and all you have to do is pick it up and use it, that's where the impulse comes in. But I feel like if it's not there, if you fucking get dropped on this island by a fisherman and he throws you a tent and he's like, hey, let me see your phone for a second, and you hand it to him and he throws it in the fucking ocean, then you're like, hey, motherfucker.
It's waterproof.
I
gotta go swim out there with the sharks.
But then, after 2 days, then you're like, oh, it's like I would think it just wouldn't even be a passing thought in your head. I feel
like I was concerned about it, but then I remembered I'm hungry.
Exactly. You have far more important things to worry about. I feel.
I agree.
But this guy doesn't even know what any of that's like. He doesn't know what having a cell phone's like. He doesn't know what having a fucking. Well, no, he would possibly know what having a personal computer feels like.
Yeah, there'd be something about that.
He could have been like, "Oh my God, did they make an Apple III?" So like I said, so he developed empathy with animals and began to reject meat and fish. That was when, for the first time in his life, he felt the significance of happiness.
I wonder if the animals kind of warmed up to him too.
Yeah, I always wondered that too. Okay, and maybe this is like a town thing, but in the town square where I live, there's these squirrels that run around, in the square and stuff like that.
I saw them. Those are big ass squirrels. Those are fat
right,
squirrels.
But you can get fucking super close to them. Like you could basically stand next to them, and they are completely unfazed by your presence.
You know why? Because they're rabid. Come close, motherfucker. I want to bite your nuts. What, you mean these nuts?
And then you throw a coconut and smash its head in. And you're like, who's biting who, motherfucker? Too bad I rejected meat. Then you just leave it for the flies.
And then the other rabid squirrels run up and start eating it.
Yeah, then they get more rabid.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than a double rabid squirrel.
Double rabid squared. Okay, I kind of figured something out now. Once a month, Nagasaki would go to a nearby island to buy food and water using money that his sister sent him.
See, that's always where it's like, I think we had another story where somebody was getting wired money. It's like, you're kind of half-assing it.
But to be fair, it's not like this dude isn't saying, hey, pay all my bills. He's saying, send me money once a month for food.
Yeah, and it could be $20 or $40. I mean, because you could get quite a bit of water and snacks. And he's like, hey, can you put this on her tab too? It's like, big booty Brazilians. What's this for? Toilet paper.
Lubriderm and a moist towel. Why are you buying the towel moist? You live on an island.
No reason.
So his sister would send him money, and then he would buy food and water, but he would only stay for a couple of hours. So he'd be there just long enough to get his food. What is he buying water? He lives on an island. Anyway.
I'm sure you just get to reuse bottles, and I'm sure clean water is probably not really tough to come by, but it's probably to reuse the
boil
bottles.
The salt water, right? Isn't that how it works? You boil salt water and then...
I don't know if you can boil salt water. I think you have to filter it. So I'm sure on the island there's a fresh pond or something like that. Or a spring or something like that. There'd have to be. Otherwise he wouldn't make it.
He wouldn't survive. According to Cerezo, Japanese authorities have been attempting to civilize Nagasaki for a while, offering to buy him a house and provide care.
There's oil on that island, Richard. There's either oil or dinosaurs, one of the two.
There's dinosaurs on the island.
It's actually Island Naboo.
The police come up and they're like, Nagasaki, could you please come to the beach, please? And he rides out on a fucking brontosaurus. Stark fucking naked.
What, bitches? You want me to call the T-Rex? No, Nagasaki, no.
Nagasaki, I live on this island, and I'm stark naked. Look at my balls.
They call me the king of the dinosaurs. If you step foot, they'll eat your face. Chris Pratt shows up. He's like, hey, I'm just here. I'm method.
He's like, I don't need to eat meat. These animals are my friends. What animals?
Clever girl.
He said, I don't want to move from here. I will protect this island. I'd never be able to find a paradise like this. So they're fucking saying, we will buy you a house. That's
why?
fucked up. That's fucked. See, now that makes me want to go live in the goddamn cave in the middle of the woods. Because after a while, somebody's like, look, we'll get you a 2-bedroom, like an efficiency apartment. Just stop living in a fucking cave. And for God's sake, put on some fucking pants.
I want to know why they did that. I don't know if it's because of the story. But, I mean, why do they care about this one person that much?
Yeah, why? Yeah, that's my thing. Why do they give such a shit?
And if it's like a government-owned island, they could just go in and take him and throw him in jail and be like, trespassing. And back taxes.
Nagasaki told Cerezo in the documentary, nothing sad can happen here. Once I saw a dead bird in the jungle, and I felt pity. And that was it.
Oh.
He said he's never felt. He said nothing sad can happen here
except death of birds and fishermen who came ashore.
Not even then. Even then, he didn't feel sad. He just felt pity
because it couldn't experience the gloriness of the island, or or because he couldn't eat it.
Yeah, maybe.
He's like, I could fry that up. It'd be like chicken.
And then a raptor jumped and ate the bird.
Yeah, he had his little clicker. He's like. It's like, Blue, no, Blue. We're vegans.
We're vegan. Is that the sounds raptors make?
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yep, and knowing's half the battle.
On his island, Nagasaki was free of want. He had only one desire. One desire, Sean. He said, I've already told my family I will die here. My wish is to die here without bothering anyone.
And the government's like, fuck you, you're dying in a home.
He said in the film, I will die soon, probably in a few years. I want to be killed by a typhoon so nobody can try to save me.
Damn. Technically, if that happens, you're not dying on the island.
He's like fucking Lieutenant Dan, like sitting on the top of the fucking boat. He's like, you want a piece of me, God?
But the thing is if a typhoon comes in, he's going to get sucked out in the ocean. He's not dying on the island. He's dying in the ocean.
Yeah, but I mean, who gives a shit? He's going to land in the water, and then shark's going to eat his fucking head off, and then it's done.
That's the only scary part.
He wants to be killed by a typhoon.
It seems kind of random. I figured I just want to die of old age, like next to the turtle box.
He became known as the Naked Hermit after telling people his only wish was to die on the island.
Do you think he put on clothes when he went to the other island, or you think he did?
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
He walks in like some tourists are there and is like, "Oh, I thought it said no pants, no service." Or no, it says no shirt, no service. Like I would assume that means pants too. No, that's the Naked Hermit. He's grandfathered in.
Just leave him be. He'll show up. He'll buy some toaster strudel and some Lubriderm and a moist towel,
And Big Booty Brazilians, Volume 7.
Yeah, and just get back on his boat.
Don't ask him to put on pants because he'd be like, why you want me to cover up these nuts? Like, it was funny the first few times. Now it's just old.
Okay, so there's a picture here in the story, and in the picture, like, you can see other islands.
Oh, okay.
But it's a picture of him and his bare ass while he's facing, like, looking out into the water, and like there's other islands that are visible from where he's at. So he's on the island by himself, but like there's other islands like in visible distance.
So it's like if we went and we lived on, like some of those ponds around here or lakes have like man-made islands. It'd be like us going there and living, and us just like showing our junk to the owners of the pond.
It's in like the backyard of some like rich dude's estate. We just set up like a flag with the little Bromance logo on it.
He's like, get off my island. It's like, why? You want us to cover up? Yeah, I want you to cover up them nuts.
Yes, officer, there are 2 naked men on a patch of dirt in the middle of my pond.
I've told them there's numerous snakes, and they just don't care. They're like, yeah, trouser snakes. And I giggled at first, but they keep saying it over and over.
Oh, shit. He was married.
On the island?
Masafumi was married and had 2 children.
What, he just left them? Or
I think so, yeah.
Or did he just have so much game when he went back for an hour he'd hooked up with somebody?
He was too weak. When authorities removed him from Sotobanari, he was too weak to fight back, and he now lives 37 miles away from his island in the city of Ishigaki. He was married and had 2 children. Initially, he intended to stay on the island for a couple of years, but he loved the lifestyle so much that he decided to live there permanently. Spent the first few years wearing the clothes he had brought with him, but a typhoon swept away virtually all his possessions, including his clothes. So basically, like, the whole nudity thing was like he woke up and all his clothes were blown away. He's like, well, guess I'm a nudist now.
Guess this is my life now.
Yep, this is what I do. He added, on the island, walking around naked feels right. It's like a uniform. If you put on clothes, you feel out of place.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that if you've been naked for long enough. I mean, there is something like, I'm a fan of skinny dipping. Like, there's something about like water just hitting your naked body.
Oh my God. I had a pool in the back of my house. Like, I bought one of those above ground pools at this house I lived in. And oh my God, like, there was a summer I was out there like almost every night.
Yeah.
No, no clothes all the time.
Did you jump in with your bathing suit on and then take it off, or did you run out naked and jump in?
I'd run out naked.
But you didn't live in city limits, did you?
Yeah, I did.
Jeez.
What?
You bum shower.
And then like I go out drinking with friends, and then like I'd be like, hey, let's go like chill in the pool. And as soon as I got there, I was like, I'm stripping. I'm done. Nope. I didn't give a shit. Like, yeah, it's a penis. So what? You've seen them. I don't care.
You're like, I'm sorry, Father John.
Yeah. Get over it.
I know this is Sunday after church meeting, but whatever. Bathe in this holy water.
So then they would all do it too. So then it'd just be like, so it ended up becoming like a ritual of naked pool parties.
Those are like 6 dudes.
No. It was mixed. It was mixed company.
No, you never invited me.
You didn't live here.
You still could have invited me.
You wouldn't have taken your pants off.
How do you know?
Do you see the look I'm giving you?
Yeah. Depends on how drunk I am.
Fair enough. He did put on clothes to go buy food and water.
Okay.
So there's that.
Which seems to make sense. I mean, he's not like anti-clothes. He's just like, yeah, I just don't really want to wear them.
Yeah. He's 82.
Wow. So he lived on there. He went there pretty late in his life then, because he'd been in his 50s.
He's 82 now.
And he's 30 some miles away from his island.
This is where he's at now. Is 37 miles away. When Mr. Nagasaki was found, Mr. Cerezo said he probably only had the flu and that he now isn't allowed to go back to Sotobanari, which is uninhabited and measures. So the island is just a half mile across.
Okay. How can they tell him he's not allowed to?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that works.
That's the thing about.
Oh my God, he has a little wall with tally marks on it, like in Castaway.
So he was keeping track day, but that would be like, I have trouble keeping track of like just certain things. Could you imagine like trying to keep track of that every day, like getting that in your routine? Like you forget,
shit, right?
You're like, wait, has it been 12,364 days, or I guess I got to start over?
Let's see. He followed a strict routine during his time on the island, staying inside his tent between dusk and dawn to avoid being bitten by insects and undertaking a series of early morning exercises on the beach. Much of the rest of the day was spent foraging for food. He had given up meat and fish and would not touch turtle eggs after seeing young hatchlings scurrying to the sea.
Wow,
and he would rake the beach until it was spotless. He would rake all like the, like branches and like, trash and shit like that.
The debris,
would rake
all that.
He'd rake it all up from the beach.
Nah, because I don't know, like it's crazy to see how much stuff comes out of the ocean during the night. Like not just trash, like seaweed and all that kind of stuff.
That's fucking awesome.
I'm envious.
Because he's like taking care of the island.
Yeah, that sucks. Like I feel bad for him because it is kind of a thing. It's like that was his home and the government's like, nope, sorry, dude. Fucking living in a home for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, I want to die on an island. It's like, well, you're going to die in this hospital.
Yeah, I don't really think it's so much the fact that they've told him. They've told him, like, you can't go back. I think it's the fact that, like, he's, 82 and he himself doesn't have the, like, energy, the strength to go back, even though he wants to. He ate at a table made from polystyrene and used a system of buckets to catch rainwater, which he would use to bathe. Once a week, he would put on some clothes and take a boat to the neighboring island where he could buy food and water. Food and drinking water with the roughly $69 sent to him. No, like $50.
$50 a month?
Well, actually, no, about 20. Yeah, about $20 a week.
That's not bad. I mean, that's not like, keeping up a bad habit.
He says, I've already told my family I will die here. Well, I could be killed by a typhoon. So, yeah, Sean, that's the story of Mr. Nagasaki, the man who sadly does not live on the island anymore. The naked hermit.
So, just to tidy up, so he's still alive, right?
He's still alive, yes.
We need a GoFundMe to get him back on the island.
Not just get him on the island, Sean. What I'm taking away from this story is free island.
That's true. Yeah,
free island,
Bro Island. Here we come.
Yeah, we did it.
So, okay, before we close this out, before you give us your closing thoughts, I want to know. How long could you go then without us podcasting? Because we've been doing this for 4 years, and it's very much in our habit. Would you have to go with me?
Yeah, I think so. Because to me, it's not really so much like, oh, we have to record like in front of an audience, or we have to record to an audience. I think it's just like. I would just need someone to like bullshit with.
Yeah, I agree.
I would need a person to talk to. Like, for example, like we didn't talk a bunch over the last like week, and then we were supposed to record last night, and we didn't end up recording. We just sat and spent like 2 hours just fucking bullshitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think like what I learned from like our trips and stuff too is like I think we could make it last too, where it wouldn't be like, fuck, I hope that guy gets bit by a bug and dies from malaria.
Yeah. Sean, eat this bug.
But I'd be the same way. Like, I think I'd have to go with you. Otherwise, I would have a volleyball named Richard. Make me laugh, fake Richard. All right, Richard. Well, as we're closing this up, do you have any Richard's closing thoughts?
Some people have dreams, and apparently, despite your dreams, you can't escape the man. And that's sad.
Thanks.
That's kind
Thanks
of
to bring us down.
I'm sorry. But even if
you can escape your wife and kids, but you can't escape the government.
Because it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. Because this dude spent 30 years living the good life.
That's a good point. He's still got the memories. All right, Richard. Well, before the government tells us we can't do this podcast anymore, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languagebromance.com. Follow us on Twitter. We're at languagebro. Email us at eatthebeaver@languagebromance.com. Check out the LB Army intelligence reports. Like us on Facebook and go out and recruit somebody for the LB Army by getting someone you know to subscribe on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, Spotify, and we're on Alexa.
And while you're there, you can throw up a rating, give us a rating and a review. And if if your review is you too should go live on an island so that way you'll never podcast again, like that's fine. Or if you want to, like, here's $20, go live on an island so you'll never podcast again, that's fine too. I mean, whatever you want to do.
And if you want, I'm sorry. We're also part of the island of podcasts, the Pod Bros Network.
The damn it, I lost the name.
Sotobanari.
The Sotobanari of podcast networks. Sotobanari, the Sotobanari of podcast networks, because we're exotic.
And if you want to join that list of people to come on to our new island, make sure you join our Patreon account, www.patreon.com/languageofbromance, and be like our strong LB Army member, Dave the Nerd.
Dave's like, I'm not living on a fucking island with the two of you.
He's like, if I am, we're all wearing pants.
And we're like, oh.
That just ruins the fun.
Be a team player.
Didn't you hear what I said, Dave? Suns Out Buns Out. All right. Well, is there anything before I close her out?
Nope.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Sean.
And I'm Richard.
And I say we eat the island beaver.
And don't wear pants.
Yeah. This is a no pants zone.
Yeah. Oh, my God, put it away.